Meeting July 24th, 2025
The time
is,
5:37, maybe,
yeah, that looks right.
or something like that.
5:38.
5:38.
All right. Andy, would you mind doing a roll call?
Adams,
Here.
Manicola,
Here.
Ms. Wagner,
Here.
Mr. Flynn,
Yeah.
Mr. Hochbach.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, let's pause for a moment of silence and then let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. All right, does anybody have changes to the agenda or additions to the agenda? Okay, hearing.
Yeah, there is.
Hmm?
One of the things that we need to be sure is on here is discussion of the fall tree planting. That doesn't seem to be on here.
All right,
An old business?
yeah, we'll put it on old business 9.5. Okay. All right, so let's, do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda with the addition of 9.5 discussion regarding the fall tree planting? Do I have a first,
First,
Yeah.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, the minutes. All right, so, has everybody had a chance to review Carol's wonderful minutes from April 24th, 2025?
no, because they were included in the packet that we received. And we also didn't get the one from the June meeting either. So we have nothing here to look at that we can approve.
Okay,
So that takes care of that.
all right, so no action on the minutes because we need to didn't receive them to review.
Right.
Okay.
That's okay. We're still trying to
All right,
break her in.
okay.
All right.
No worries. Okay. All right, moving on to land development review, 4605 Westchester Pike, the indoor recreation area at Marville. Andy, did you want to kind of?
Sure, I can
Discuss it.
kind of bring you up to speed. I had a conversation with Mr. Hochbach earlier this afternoon. Inquiring about his review letter. Unfortunately, he was not able to be here this evening. And he was unaware of receiving that plan. So what we did this afternoon is forwarded the plan over to him yet again. And asked that he provide that letter, within a reasonable amount of time prior to this committee's next meeting. And he said he could certainly do that.
Okay. All right. Out of curiosity, do you, Rob or Carol, have any concerns about any of the species of trees that are looking to be planted? I mean, because right now there's 0 there, so.
Yeah, right. Hold on a second. Enlarge it a bit, so I don't have to squint.
Want me to read them off?
I'm wondering why Flowering Trees is using Cornuscusa. Which is not a
Cusa.
native.
So would you like to make a recommendation on using native dogwood?
Well, I thought we had a thing where we're supposed to use, where we were trying to use native plants for everything.
We are, but there's instances where.
Understand why the phone did that. It decided one of the video record.
Nice. So remember we had talked about that we do have some non-native species on our tree list because because they are, because of some of the issues with disease and other things, and these are a little more resilient to the, effects of climate change and things like that. So I don't know if that's the case with this dogwood, but we can certainly make a recommendation to John to evaluate that and maybe evaluate whether or not native trees would be the better option. Because I agree with you, I think they should, but I do know that we've been talking about where there's been some exceptions based on,
Yeah, and there's
disease and
some other
such.
things, like Syringa reticula, the lilac, the tree lilac, but it's not native either, so what the
Right.
heck? Okay. Yeah, that was just the first thing that I saw. I was like, okay.
I thought natives were just for right of ways.
No, I think we're trying to use them throughout.
I don't know where CK is being used there. I haven't.
And then they also have the, well, it's a shrub, so I guess.
Street trees, buildings. The flowering trees are around building perimeters. It's a nice tree. Yes, why not? Okay.
All right. All right. So maybe what do you want to communicate with John about the species list?
No, we'll check them next week,
Okay.
next month.
Are we, so, because we're not going to take action on this, obviously, because we don't have John's input, so we would
Yeah, we don't,
defer to him anyway,
we
so.
don't know what to take action on at this point.
Well, and we don't, because that's not our lane. So, okay, but we could, but certainly we can make. So I thought we did talk about, some of the street trees that were being installed.
I know that there was, is this the one where there was, outside the building, there was like a whole bunch of flowering trees?
I think
And
so.
John wanted them sort of, alternate like every other one with
Yeah,
with a tall deciduous tree or
and
something.
it looks like that happened,
Yeah, it
according
does.
to the plan.
Yeah, it
looks
seems
like
that way.
they took that suggestion.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have any concerns, other than if we do have a concern with them using a non-native.
yeah, but
Doggo.
we could just ask him about the nativity status,
Okay,
just see what his response is. I'm sure he has good reason,
sure. Okay,
but no action.
okay, all right, so, yeah, no action on that. We'll wait until, John's review and, discuss it at that time. That sound good, Andy? Okay, all right. Okay, let's go on to new business 8.1. So, so Rob, did you want to talk about the grant that you were talking with George or somebody about, and then you asked me about it and I looked into it. And then the timeline, it was due by July 1st, and there was absolutely no way that I could have coordinated with the township to get the required information in order to, to write that up. But I'm happy if we want to put that on the schedule for next year.
Yeah, I forget where that even came across. I sent it to you.
I
What
know
was
you
it for?
did. Hold on, I gotta look.
Was it for the, I can't remember. I remember sending it to you and you said it was close and then I never heard anything, so.
Gosh. We communicate a lot. I don't see it here. Oh, dang it. All right, I'm gonna have to find it, but I think it was a grant that the EAC had received before.
Okay.
And I think it's either a Delco or it's a state grant. And anyway, so let me find out more information. I'll do more homework. I'll remember to do it. and gather the grant information. And then we can talk about it for possible, because I kind of would like to make sure that to run it through, Stephen or the township and say, is this really something that, you would like us to do? And,
Match.
there could be, yeah, and I think some of it is, the match could be in lieu, in service, and then, but we would need like the codes, the tax code and things like that to apply, and I don't know what the process is that the township has for that, certainly I can work with the EAC.
With Giant Corporation.
Oh, that's it, that's right, the Giant food, yeah. All right, so here's what it says. There's $112,000 tree grant. Fuels greener neighborhoods across Pennsylvania is the headline. And then the Giant, grocery store company expands its Healing the Planet effort, offering $112,000 in grants for community tree planting across Pennsylvania. Eligible nonprofits can apply by July 1st. For up to $4,000 to support native tree initiatives and beautification projects. So, I mean, that sounds really in line with what we do, and certainly, maybe that could be an additional funding source for maybe doing the next phase of our fall planting. Maybe we could use that to augment. Unless they have other requirements. Yeah, and so what's our budget for our tree planting?
6.
6. So I mean, if we had, 10,000, that'd be kind of awesome.
Hope they offer it again next year.
So it says preference will be given to applications that aim to plant the highest number of trees. This is the 5th year that the company offered it. Over the past 4 years, more than $1.2 million have been awarded to 140 recipients that connect people and families to green spaces, improve or help improve local waterways. So this could be something that could augment to the MS4 if we planted it, so we could maybe tick a couple of boxes there. Yeah, I mean, this sounds absolutely in line with with our mission here, with the goal of all right, so, would we want to, I don't think we need to take action, right, on anything other than I will commit to working with the township to find out more about the grant and seeing
If it's done for this year, and if we can,
well, it's done for this year, it would be for
it would
26.
be getting in on time next year, yeah.
Right.
That'd be good.
Because I'll need plenty of time to do that. I'm a procrastinator, so,
Since you're the grant writer.
yeah. Well, unless somebody else wants to write the grant.
Didn't know how.
Neither would I.
I volunteer since I've written plenty of grants, so I'll do that. All right. It's the Giant Corporation. Can you send that to me again?
Absolutely. Now or next year.
Like,
Say that-
how about right now? Then that way. Then that way I don't have to remind you, say, the thing we talked about at
Like
the
you just
meeting, can
did?
you send it to me? Yeah, like
6 months
exactly.
ago, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I found it quick though, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I'm impressed.
Well, it wasn't in my.
All right. All right. Old business. Discuss some possible action on coordination with other committees on Arbor Day for 2026. Then we also have the tree inventory, the newsletter, And, oh, you know what else is missing on here? I don't know if we can squeeze this in here or not. What about the ordinance?
Want an update?
Yeah,
Well, the update on the ordinances, I don't have much to offer.
okay.
I can do my best to reach out to the township solicitor to get a status update.
Right.
Good luck on that.
Thank you, I need it.
Status quo. Okay, all right. All right, so Arbor Day. All right, so, all right, so here's the issue with Arbor Day and with some of these other events. I mean, we are short one person on our committee. And, you know, I'll speak for myself. I know I'm not as available and active as I would like to be due to my current situation. And, you know, we haven't had a replacement for John Rice. We need help with these things if we're really gonna pull it off. How do we get a replacement for John Rice, and how do we, I know you said before I need to talk to whomever is our liaison. I've not done that.
Is that Paul now?
No, I think it's Russo. I think at the last meeting they
Who
said,
knows? Yeah,
It's-
I
I
thought you
think it's
told us
Mike-
last time.
it's
I
Mike,
can't remember what you
I
said
think it's
last time.
Russo.
I think it's
you're
Mike
right.
Russo.
Yep. So,
But I agree, the liaison would, I think, be your best start to get some direction from the
Okay.
board.
all right, so I failed miserably at doing that just because I just can't. Would one of you guys, or maybe
Let's see what,
one of you guys do it because, would you mind?
Carol, since you're retired, now she can get here during the day when they're here.
that's
Or
an
just make
idea,
it
yes,
local.
I can see what we can do about that,
Okay.
as long as, you know, somebody sort of helps by giving me some key topics that you want me to bring up with them.
I can give you talking points of what
Okay.
we need and what the struggles have been.
Right,
You know, and part of it is, I think that the way that the criteria for the volunteers on the committee are really strong with having a really strong tree background. And that's great when the ordinance was such that we would be reviewing like some of the
yeah,
land development and stuff. And now that our direction has pivoted a bit away from that, we need, and it's more like doing events, then we need someone who's a volunteer coordinator, not a tree expert,
exactly.
you know, and we need
Yeah.
someone that is a like a project manager that has project management, outreach, you know, those types of skills. We don't need another person who's really good at cutting down trees like Rob, right?
Yes. I agree, if we do need someone who does legwork.
And then, so, and then does somebody want to reach out to Dan? He hasn't been around in a while. To kind of gauge if he's still interested and if he wants to help, if he doesn't have the time or whatever, or,
I
you
think
know,
he's just tied up with baseball. I saw the whole big baseball thing. I know he's real involved with that. That's what the last. Last
I don't
time.
know that we got a response.
okay,
But I could be wrong.
yeah. Well, I know I didn't respond either, so I'm guilty of that as well, so I'm
First
not
got a
gonna.
call 7 o'clock this morning.
I know they did. I'm like, thank God you called me.
She said, oh, shit.
I
She's
said,
like,
oh,
"Yeah."
shoot. I was like, oh, yeah. Well, I was planning on, I had to come home early anyway, so it was good. So that's why I said, well, I'll be there in person. So at any rate, okay, so that would be the thing to talk to him about, and it's
Okay.
basically because the mission and the purpose of the committee has changed. We need to reevaluate kind of what the skill set of the volunteers are, and we need, if, and I don't know how that gets revised. I don't know if that's an official thing or, and I don't know how they, how outreach to,
I mean, again, I think a lot of it points back to the organizational section of the ordinance, so I think the ordinance can help formalize a lot of what you're dealing with.
yeah, and, but it was pretty, it talked more about tree experts, and it's like, we don't need 5 tree experts. We need we need 1 or 2 tree experts, and I say that's, and we've got 3 right now. I'm not-
We need someone who likes to sit in the shade of a tree and organize events.
And is really good at herding cats.
Ads.
And coordinating with their other committees, and have time to do that. So
Yeah.
ideally, it would be somebody who's retired. You know, anybody else who's retired and want to help? Anyhow, so those would be the things, basically, I would talk to him about, tell him about how what we're struggling with, and that kind of the consistency of the participation in members, and having kind of, really since the start of this, we've had 2 members that are pretty much have had other conflicts and haven't been able to engage, and we really need a person who has the time, the energy, inclination, skill set to organize events, help, and is connected in the community to get volunteers. Cindy's great at that. She's just all over in the community, and she's such a goat. We need like a Cindy, or Sheila, that kind of caliber person who's going to be a go-getter. Yes. So,
Okay, I will
So you
talk,
got that?
I'll talk, yes, and I can talk to you
okay.
later about some of that.
All right, perfect. All right, sounds good. So I think honestly, a lot of that falls into Arbor Day for next year, because we need help. We just,
Well, I mean, we have a great idea,
yes,
but how do we go about coordinating with other groups? We don't know what steps to take. We don't know how to approach other groups, and do we call a meeting of all the groups?
well, we have the committee of committee meetings, and maybe you should go in my stead to the committee of committee meetings.
I did
Because
that last time.
yes, so that's where you would do that.
How often are committee of committee meetings? How often is this committee of committee
Once
meeting?
every-
Trust me, Stephen runs those pretty, so they're organized based upon, I think his schedule availability. So I'm really not so sure I know exactly if there's a set time.
It's like every other month. It's like every other month, isn't it, or
Every other
something?
It
Yeah.
I only
think
ever
that's
heard of
right.
one, and that one's one I had to attend.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think it's once a quarter or something along those lines, something, yeah, so every other month, once a quarter or something. Like that.
I can reach out to Desiree, Stephen's assistant, try to figure out when that next available or that next
Okay.
meeting is scheduled for,
Okay,
and relay that to you folks. Hopefully you can then work amongst yourselves and decide who's going to attend.
So usually it's the chair and vice chair, but they usually happen on days that I'm down in DC. So if,
which is any day of the week ending in a Y, pretty much.
pretty much, so, if it would be okay. I don't know if I need to ask Steven if it would be all right if I could delegate that to Carol to attend
sure
in my
it's fine.
stead.
Yeah, it should be
I
okay.
don't know why that would be inappropriate.
Okay.
I mean,
long as three of us weren't there. you know.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, okay, great.
If you want to zoom it.
No, I
That would
don't
be
want to
hard.
zoom it. No, that would be so awkward.
Okay.
I would like be this big distended head on these screens while everybody's sitting around the table. That would be silly. Right, okay. So we did have a plan for Arbor Day, did we not?
It was
Where
different
we-
parts.
Right, we're gonna pick different parks. Did we decide? Does anybody have a suggestion on where we would like to target, or do we want to talk with George, or do we want to talk with maybe Wade and see if where there are needs or,
I think that's what we have to get
I
on.
think we have to find out when the next committee meeting.
Yeah,
is, and then
okay.
Because we
just
have
talk.
to basically present, because I don't think our idea has been presented to the other committees.
that's
So
right,
they're clueless about it.
okay,
So we have to present to the other committees what we'd like to do and see if they would like to go along with it. And then we can, decide, get them to discuss, to figure out, it's like, okay, which one should we do? So we've got to, introduce them to our idea
I
first.
think that's a fantastic idea. Run with it, Carol.
All right. I hope it's got its walking shoes on.
I think it would be great. Great. And Rob will be there. I think between the two of you guys, you can explain it well and what the vision is and how we want to get it done.
Oh, we can explain. I don't know. It will be.
Well, since I came up with the idea, I think if
I think Carol's
if I
the be-
can't explain it, then I think we're really in trouble.
I totally agree with that. So Carol's awesome. Arbor Day idea. Um, and it might be good to give Stephen a heads up that you would like to share your idea and proposal with the committees and maybe have that on the agenda at the next one. So that because I know those meetings are usually packed. He's got a really packed schedule with it, so it would probably be a good idea to give him a heads up that you would like to present that idea to the.
I can
to the
do
group.
that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, all right. We don't need to take any action. We'll move on to discussion of the tree inventory. So we have iPads, right? So we have the iPads. And we just need John. And we just need to schedule a time where we're gonna do the training. So without John here, I don't think we can really,
We can't go very far.
no. Okay,
Andy's got this look on his face like they're missing again or something.
well,
Or they're
Oh, no.
reallocated to
oh
somebody
no,
else.
who were they given to?
no, the iPads are in my office.
Oh.
I have the iPads, but the look is because the last time we spoke about this, John was going to come in on the next rain day. And he was going to work with George at that point in time to get the information uploaded. And then he would give them all to you.
Oh,
So I'll remind John tomorrow that they're here, where they're at, and that we still need them to be uploaded
And
with the
that
data.
people are still asking about them.
Yes, yes. I'll be sure to do that. I'll be happy.
okay. Thank you, Andy. All right. Okay, moving on. 9.3, discussion of the newsletter. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carol.
So, I had a volunteer for the last three, volunteers for the last three issues.
Was I one of them?
No. It was, Rob was going to work with John Hosback on the first one. And nobody came through with anything after a lot of reminders. So I ended up throwing something in myself.
I think I
Um,
read that.
Yeah, and they changed it. It was it was an Arbor Day update from this past year. And they went through somehow and got rid of the words Arbor Day, so nobody knows what the heck it was all about. The second one, John was going to do it himself, and he did. Third one, John was going to work with Dan, and we got zippity doo dah again. And I didn't have a backup to throw in there. So I'm not taking any volunteers anymore. I'm either gonna do it by myself and until everybody feels
But you
guilty.
did such a good job.
You can,
Well,
Carol just
I'm a good
volunteered
writer. I
herself.
just need
Yes.
some topics.
Karen, Carol just volunteered herself. I love that.
I
love
know,
that.
yeah,
Right.
well, it's like, I'm the only one I can actually crack the whip and get her to do something. Yeah, so newsletter has been sort of problematic.
Okay,
Um,
thank you, Carol.
but, so if anybody has any ideas, I'm supposed to be doing this next one. And I've contacted,
Did you do watering?
I did some, no, I contacted about, asking for, references or information, and I haven't gotten any response, so it's like,
From who?
I'm not going there.
Oh, so it wasn't me.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't
okay,
you,
okay.
no.
Like, tell
You
me
would
if
have
I
come
forgot
through.
something.
No, you haven't forgotten anything.
Okay.
I'm with them. Well, I figured about it.
It wasn't you either. Okay.
Alright.
That's it for 9.3.
Okay.
We've got, it
Right.
has issues. also.
Carol's doing everything.
Well, no,
Queen
she wants to
Carol
be
is in
needs
charge.
topics that she can do stuff.
So
We can recommend top,
Right, so
You make
watering was a good,
watering,
watering was a good one.
like
Cupping-
mature trees need watering, even though we had a bountiful spraying with water, as it's getting hot and everything, big trees need water. Blah, blah, blah. That could be one.
Okay, you wanna
Because they do.
give me.
Because they actually watered, I was surprised, they watered the trees on the pike today. Four Seasons went through and watered them, because I was gonna call George and I saw them today, I'm like, man, they're ahead of it. Although one
Good.
died, one got run over and one died, and out of the blue. I couldn't believe it, all the way up near like, one of the, I guess the gum trees died. Like, it was like fine, and all of a sudden, like, I drove by one day when all that heat was and it was gone. Smoke, the
Aw.
leaves fell off it.
Well, they don't have a real fibrous root system either.
Yeah.
They're a little more, so I guess they were having some issues. Interesting.
Okay.
I already did one about mulching. I guess I can revamp that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of volcanoes around here. How
Take
about,
your dead ash trees down before they kill somebody.
Well, yeah, well.
yes. Yes. I really, well, I won't
I was
bring it up.
getting, I was getting beeped at by somebody because I refused to park on Bishop Hall Road underneath that tree. I was getting beeped at by people. I'm like, they can beep all they want. I'm waiting till the cars go in front of me to get past that tree, because when it falls, it's gonna kill someone.
Which one? There's,
The real big one. It's got a lean like this. It's been dead for 5 years.
so the one that's on the Bishop Hollow side or on the
Mhm.
Gradyville side, because there's one on the Gradyville
I know,
side that's in
there's-
the same thing.
You think they'd have got warning when all their cars got crushed?
Good thing you
But
didn't
they
buy the-
said that it was none of the dead,
No, no,
no, he's got,
No.
no, there's two of them.
there's a whole bunch of them.
Because I'm really tired of the tree, of their trees
There's 3
coming
or 4
down.
there. If they-
Well, we're
Just to give you an
digressing.
update, so there was a lot of question that we were having with regard to how the town, the code department is supposed to
Right.
react to private property trees because of where we're at with the ordinance, and we also have another section of the township code in chapter 107 that deals with like more public safety hazard items. So at first, we understood that even though Zach was doing, he was reaching out to the property owner, he was trying to explain what the issues were, we weren't getting much of a response. I think we understood either the information we got was unclear or we misunderstood it. I'll just leave it at that. So we kind of backed off that position. Then after that really bad wind storm that caused all those trees to fall within the last month, there was another letter that was prepared using chapter 107. So because of that, we asked the question, how are we proceeding with this in the future because of the first understanding now compared with the use of chapter 107. So Mr. Secor provided the direction that I needed to say, okay, here's the difference and here's what we're going to do. So in a situation like we're talking about now, we'll have to take some photographs, share it with Mr. Secor, confirm that he's comfortable with this falling under that chapter 107, and then maybe we can reissue.
What's that, like health safety issues or
Yeah.
whatever?
And I mean, the questions that I have is impact to the roadway and public right of way, and then an individual's house. I mean, it's a totally different matter, right?
Right.
But it still involves public safety. And it also depends on a lot of factors. How far is the tree? How tall is the tree? What's the horizontal separation between it and the right of way? If it's tall enough to fall across the road, that becomes obviously a safety issue, a safety factor. So that's why I think it's important for us to take the photograph, get confirmation, and we can prepare the letter using chapter 107 and move forward in that direction.
Is there anything where the homeowner would be liable if anyone is hurt or killed when they're?
I mean, I think that was some of the misunderstanding because I think that's the reason for us using chapter 107 now instead of what we had been using under chapter 158. So using chapter 107, we're just basically telling that individual property owner that there's a severe safety concern that has to be rectified. And if it's not, the liability is technically on that homeowner. I also believe that there's a phrase in there in the ordinance that speaks to if the township feels it's a severe enough issue that we will
Take it down.
take it down.
And that's in 158.
Well,
Or was
here
that
again,
107?
that was because of the position we're in with chapter 158 and the revisions being in flux. There was,
So you're relying on 107.
well, I think it's better to rely on chapter 107. And that's what we did after the wind event that we had about a month ago.
Now,
Right.
is it still the same thing like you told me before, that it's like a court issue? It could go to court, it could just go through the courts, it has to take a while to go through the courts.
I
even though
mean,
they were
when we
notified.
get into
Yeah, I know.
the problem with, I mean, that we deal with every day is once it gets beyond like a notice, like our job is to notify a property owner of a potential violation and give them clear direction based upon the ordinance, what has to happen. If they fail to do that, then a lot of times we have to go in the direction of the court. And or spend public funds to do that and then lien the property. All of that takes time. It all takes time, especially when it goes into the court system. It takes a lot of time so that's not always the best solution. If we can work cooperatively with the property owner, that's always the best solution, always.
So, the property owner in question, had a conversation. And he mentioned that, I mean, should we be talking about this here? He mentioned that, because that was when Bishop Hollow was shut down, because there were a number, and not just his trees came down, but a couple of that big, huge oak tree came down and took stuff out. And he had mentioned that he said, I just want to cut down all the trees that are there. I'm going to cut down everything. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I probably should have said, well, that would be a violation of the of the township ordinance, but he was getting a little kind of, you know,
But I don't necessarily think it is, based upon our conversations about the proposed changes to the ordinance.
Yeah.
That trees that are located on private land outside.
but these are all, so if you look at, so again, this is where, how do we, because remember, his property comes to a point.
Yeah.
So I really think that there's gonna be overlap with, I mean, especially at that point between where Bishop Hollow and Gradyville Road meet. You know, it's all depends on how you calculate, because again, I don't know what that width is of the right of way. But at least at that point, I bet you 10 to 1, there's gonna be big overlap. That whole point is gonna probably be overlap with the right of way. So, but he included trees within the, when he said that, sure, so maybe if he did, but the ones that are in the right of way would certainly have to come before the township.
But I know a lot of those trees are in poor shape, even though they're old sassafras trees, they're, 90% of those trees are in poor shape on that corner of that property. It's never been maintained. The previous owner didn't maintain everything. It's just been whatever fell there and it stayed there, for 30 years, it's been like that.
So that could be actually getting back to the article and the topics. It could be, a topic would be about maintaining your trees, just because you know,
Stewards.
yeah, you should be, even though you have naturalized area on your property, it still requires maintenance, and you still should bring in an arborist and evaluate the health of your tree and the importance of pruning and to reduce, dead limbs and things like that. And
Didn't you do an article about that?
you did the trimming, but I'm talking about, hey, I have a ton of trees on my property and I'm just gonna let it go wild. I think that's what a lot of people do, they don't think of those mature trees as something that needs to be maintained. And especially now with between the ash borer and all the other diseases that are coming in, it's becoming more important.
Got
But
it.
so, but am I wrong that the trees in the right of way, if they did proceed to cut all those down in the right of way, that would still be, regardless of where we are with our ordinance, it still would fall under the
That's
street
correct.
trees.
That's
removal of street
what
trees.
that's the way the ordinance is written today, that you have jurisdiction
Right.
of all shade trees that are
Right.
located in the right of way,
Right,
as well as what has been proposed.
right,
So in both scenarios, you would still
Right.
oversee and manage those trees are in those trees are in the right of way.
right.
And
So-
on any public land.
So that's what I meant when he said that he was gonna cut them all down. I know he can do it in the places that aren't within the right of way, but given how there would obviously be overlap, and regardless of the health and where they are, and I agree with you, but they would still need to come in and get a permit in order to do that, and there
Oh.
might have to be some tree replacement, right? So, I mean, I guess. Yeah, so I mean, the trees that were deemed not a hazard tree, they would have to be replanted.
Agreed.
So.
But if he
that's
does
the-
anything to get them ones out of there, I'll be more than happy.
Well, but that, what I'm worried about, because quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of having my power out for 4 days. Because his trees keep falling across the property and taking out the power line. And he's got a generator. So now I'm sitting there in the heat and I gotta listen to his loud generator all the time while he's sitting there in dang AC and being fat and happy. Really annoying because he isn't taking care of his trees.
So knock on his door, sit in his house.
He did offer we could come take a shower, run an extension cord. I'm like, wow, that's cool, dude. No, thanks, we're good. Anyway,
Yeah. I mean, I think that you're explaining all the things that we always run into with private property. And there's always a upside to things and a downside. And when we're talking about trees, I mean, I'm sure, Rob, you could agree that even a healthy tree can come down in a windstorm. You have straight line winds or something like that.
Oh, yeah, there's
There's
nothing,
no guarantee that a healthy tree won't come down. Obviously, we're a committee that wants to protect as many trees as we possibly can.
Right.
But that doesn't guarantee everything, won't have some negative impact at some day.
Right. So, but that's a really good point. So for your article, what it could include too is like, that's another benefit of keeping your trees well maintained and taking out branches, thinning the branches. Because when there are straight line winds, then you won't get that wind resistance through those tightly packed if they're pruned appropriately and such. So maybe it's with all the winds, this would maybe a really good time to do this, is talk about wind hazards and how to minimize damage to your property through proper tree maintenance. Because the ironic thing is that the dang dead ash trees didn't come down. Right,
And they offer lease.
right, exactly, but they're gonna come down
they're gonna come
eventually.
down.
But they're gonna come down eventually.
There's no
Yes.
root systems on them, just like those ones out on 252 that fell. There was like no root system at all on those trees. You know what I mean? They're all like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, we just have an old tree canopy in this area. And stuff is on its decline, so it is
Yeah, I mean,
more,
I think we talked about it's the life expectancy, but it is really reasonable. And that's why you need an arborist to evaluate that.
Right.
right. Like the tree that hit their cars,
Was
it
that
had a severe rot spot up in that tree. I mean, it was.
Was it a
if you-
poplar?
Yeah, but it was, it had its issues with it. I mean, yeah, it came down from the storm, obviously, but it had its issues. It had rot in it, it was an unsafe tree, obviously. It didn't with the whole, it was storm, and there's a lot around like that, but that's why you just gotta
Really
do
good
the-
article.
maintain your best you can with the trees you have,
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay, other ideas for the newsletter or other kvetching that we want to talk about?
Beach leaf disease,
Yeah, oh
Carol?
yeah.
but you do that already.
John did that last month.
Yeah.
You obviously didn't read the newsletter.
Last month? I read something. Maybe I didn't get that far. I was reading everybody else's stuff.
Oh,
I
okay.
just didn't get to that.
No, John did an article for, okay, nobody did for July. He did for June and nobody did for May. I ended up throwing something in for May.
Okay. All right. So we need to give Andy some time before the planning meeting, so let's move this along. Oh,
Yeah,
all right, review of Arbor Day 20, why do we have?
I got a
that?
question.
that,
Go ahead.
we have,
The thing we reviewed up the street here, where they're building a new house. Where they're building a new house up the street here, where they cut the driveway right against the base of that big oak tree. Isn't the safety stuff? I thought the driveway was going further away, it was going in and turning away from that tree.
You're obligated to follow the land development plan.
I thought it
And I
was,
know that
I
that's
thought
a
it was
flag
coming,
lot.
I thought it was coming towards the front of it, I thought it was away from that tree. That tree's not gonna survive, they
I
cut the
know
whole,
that tree came into conversation.
originally, when we
during
talked
the
about it.
work Of that project. I'll have to look and see what. But they're obligated to follow. the
And
plan.
they put the safety fence on the opposite side of where they're running, and the safety fence is supposed to protect the base of the tree, and they put it, it's like
So
up on
there's
the
no
lawn.
tree, there's no tree protection?
There's like no tree, but it's on the other side of the driveway. It makes no sense to me what they did. I thought when we approved that, it was supposed to be up further the driveway and then cut, like it was supposed to go up to that house and then cut over. I thought that tree was supposed to,
I'll have
I
to
might
look
be
at it.
wrong.
I haven't been on that property since, or no, obviously I can see it when I
Yeah,
drive out of here. I'll have to go out there.
Which one?
one right here, right up, 3 doors up on Bishop Park Road.
324 Bishop.
Okay,
I mean, it's a pin oak anyway, it's probably gonna die anyway in the next couple of years, but I just didn't understand, I'm like, I thought that driveway was supposed to, and then like, they put the tree protection
Yeah,
on the
I
opposite
really
side of the
agree.
driveway, not on the side where the tree is. Like,
But I remember the plan, they obviously have very limited frontage because.
Yeah.
It's flag lot.
cause they're taking the other driveway out, right? That's what I was under an impression when we looked at
I
it.
don't believe so. In fact, there was a concern by that property owner about the positioning of her existing driveway because of the location of it in relationship to the knoll, top of the hill. Sightline.
Right,
But there was nothing under the ordinance that township could require they do to that because that was already in existence. That driveway was already.
well, I thought that was going away and it was gonna split off to go that, they were taking that one out, and it was gonna go in on one and split out.
That maybe they would try to work some kind of an agreement to share the new entrance because
Right.
they're located further away from the top of the hill and provide a greater sightline, but I'm not aware of any plan requirement that relocated that existing driveway.
I thought it was.
I'll double
Yeah.
check the plan, and if
I
there is
probably have
such
it
an
someplace
issue,
in this,
I'll
it's
bring
all
it
there.
to their attention. I don't believe that.
I just thought, I'm like, why would they cut right again and like deep against it too? I'm like, you really cut all the roots off the side of that tree. I'm like, it's not
It's
gonna.
gonna
come-
fall over.
All right, so review of Arbor Day 2025.
Yes.
You have something you wanted to say?
Yes, the township had no advertisement for the Arbor Day planting at all.
Well, and whose fault's that?
I don't know,
Ours.
Steve Neese said he was gonna put something out there, but then apparently nothing went out. There was no advertising by the township at all.
I think that is a symptom of the fact that we don't have a person that is kind of assigned to, or,
Did everybody quit at the township at that
I mean,
point?
it's a
in time?
oh yeah, that's true.
Right, at that point in time, about 3 people quit within like a month span, right? Or
Yeah, we're
retired.
lucky face.
What's that?
That's-
So basically, we had, Rob pulled one of his friends out of his sick bed to come to the planting. And,
You and me.
and it just so happened that, Paul San Francesco just happened to come by and say, hi, what's going on here? And we said, we're having a tree planting. So we had basically 2 people. Well, luckily we had the 2 township guys. Yes, thank you very much. And then we had you and me and your friend.
Everybody, Jeff, yeah.
And then Paul San Francesco. So that was it for the tree planting. So, only, we didn't have people. We didn't even have the committee other than you and me.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
Trish couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
she
told
couldn't
you I
do it.
couldn't do it.
But so it was extremely disappointing. Thank goodness we only did 6 trees.
And it worked out fine.
It
We
worked
kinda
out
knew
beautiful.
that we were gonna be light, because again, this is where we need someone on the committee that's going to help organize the events, gather volunteers, reach out into the community, do some of the outreach, and at least coordinate that. And we just don't have someone with that skill set or that has the time in order to do all of that.
And if we're gonna do Parks and Rec should be.
So that's where the coordination,
Yeah.
so, and we should be
And they could put
coordinating
out
better.
for feelers too.
Right,
They're-
and they could be
you know.
coordinating with, EAC as well as the Parks and Rec with Wade and his group. And then we had also talked about at the committee meetings about having like a centralized volunteer pool that where like a blast would go out to this centralized list when these events here and have them come out. And I don't know whatever happened, if that really became a thing or not. I knew there was some pushback by some committees because they were like kind of protective over their volunteers, like there are volunteers, and if they're gonna go help you, they may not help us. And,
I
you
think
know,
everybody's working same common goal. Right?
I'm-
Committee
I agree.
participating and volunteering for time to sit on these committees is offer a very valid purpose. Right?
Yes.
Better than township.
Right,
So if you can work collectively and pull your resources together, and I really do think we need to formalize a lot of different things to help your committee flourish, and all the committees.
Right.
Help you flourish in achieving your goals.
Yep.
Set your goals earlier in the year. Now, obviously, that's at beginning meeting.
Yep.
Set your agenda for the year. Advertise it properly, get all the educational guidance out there, get your volunteers on the event.
and
But
that's
I
what,
do think that you need that driving person on each committee to drive your specific.
right, exactly, and we lack that. I mean, I wish I was retired, I would jump on that in a heartbeat, I would do it, but I can't, especially now. And plus, I haven't been in the community all that long, so I just don't know, as many people. So if we can pool those resources and have a centralized volunteer pool, then I think that would really go a long way in order to help a lot of the committees. All right, we're running behind here. We need to get rolling. So, okay, so discussion of the fall tree planting. Did you want to go ahead and,
Yes, so, basically, I met with Sheila O'Sullivan Feeney on the 16th of July, last Wednesday. And, she's all ready to go. We decided that we were going to continue with her down in her neighborhood because there's a lot of MS4 areas down in there. One of the things that we need to do, it didn't happen for today, obviously, was we need to look at the MS4 map.
yes.
We need to.
Well, all right, so we can't all three of us do it.
Right.
At one time, unless we could maybe have that on the agenda for next month.
Well, it's
and-
getting close.
I-
I gotta call
They
and
usually-
order and get,
So basically, some of the things,
True. Are we planning in October?
we're planting in November. Right after election day, like the 8th or something. I think November 8th is what we have set for our planting day.
Right.
And so basically, well, there was a confusion, because Sheila said that all of the money for this fall tree planting is in the EAC budget.
Nope.
Now you say we have it,
we have,
so I don't know who's got the money, but.
We do.
from George, we do,
From George, we do, okay.
from the finance director, we
wonderful.
have the money in our
Okay.
budget.
So
That's
basically, we need you to, we would love it if you would work your magic again and see how many trees you can get us for the money.
Right, I think we should be a little bit short on that, because I think we gotta get some help in there. Pay for some help to come in. But
What-
maybe like,
For
whatever,
what,
to help plan, because
Well,
I'm not doing,
let's get the plants ordered first.
Well, no,
well, I'm
we need,
saying leave, say $1,000 out, supplies and possible manpower.
Well, remember, we also are we're gonna do the like $50 from every
I
homeowner.
understand that, but
But-
last year there was no help from the homeowners, very, very.
very
little.
little.
Oh, my homeowners all helped.
Ours didn't.
Okay, whatever.
And trust me, I was there,
Okay,
We were
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
we
I
were all
mean,
there.
I was,
till 4:30 that night.
But
that day.
yeah, and I'll be able to.
And I
do
went
the
back a
afternoon
separate
session.
day and planted the extra trees that weren't on the list that I said.
We know you're amazing. But right now.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But
Well-
what we need right now is, so we can get the ball rolling, is we've got to find out, figure how many trees. We really don't want to do any more than we did last year,
Which was 30-something,
37,
37.
yes.
The problem is the salesman I dealt with that was really good.
Yeah.
Is no longer with the company.
That figures.
I've been dealing with the owner. And.
It's
dealing
not
with the
very
owner-
generous.
No, it's not. He's the one that approved the money for the other one. No, he's just so backed up, he's hard to get a hold of.
Oh.
The other guy was easy to get a hold of.
Oh, okay.
You know, I like had his personal cell phone. I could get a hold of him anytime.
Yeah.
He's no longer with them.
But we were figuring that we don't want to do, and she was even asking about, well, why don't we get smaller trees? And I'm going, no. We have, basically the bigger trees look better and they made
They
a
do
better
make an
impact.
impact.
They
yeah.
made an impact.
And there was a few that died. At least I know one of died. One dogwood died.
Okay,
I was talking to George. Did we replace that in this tree planting? I mean, it's nothing I don't think the people did because they bought other ones and they're fine.
it's just, yeah,
It just
I think we,
didn't make it through.
Is there anything in George's store that we could?
They wanted a dogwood. Yeah, there's like,
we can always
Oh,
pick
I
up
think,
dog.
yes, so, if not, okay,
But so Trish, no, you're Trish. Sheila said, like she was all, you know how Sheila is. And so she was all gung ho, she was all ready to go. And, but she said, because we're a little behind last year in getting the notice, first the notices have to go out to, the postcards go out, and then there's a flyer that goes out. And she has to get response back, so she's got to, so we have to figure out how many, with the money, how many trees we can get.
I will email him tonight.
Okay, thank you.
When I-
Because they need to know how many trees, because then when we start getting responses in, first come, first serve. So if we get 45 people responding
Right.
and we are only planting 35 trees, those last 10 people don't get it.
right.
So
Okay.
first come, first serve.
And I do know that there was concern about the, like, the amount of staff time it took
And
and for coordination.
what kind of trees are they off?
What type, don't ask me, ask the,
I
ask.
mean,
the
what type,
nursery.
what type should we offer? I mean, I particularly don't like birch trees, but it is what it is. I don't think that's like a shade tree. I think it's like a,
Yeah, but.
Oh,
it's-
you
but
mean
it's
like
nice.
the-
I think
yeah.
like the oaks and I can see how like the dogwoods and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, you can't do much about that, you know, if the people don't want a full-size tree in their front yard, but they obviously, the objective is to shade the roadway.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
Cool down, I mean, that's,
Yeah, so there's a lot of, some places the dogwood is nice, but, yeah, it's nice to have, we need, shade trees is the
Yeah.
thing that we're supposed to be pushing.
So
Pushing for.
I would defer to you on your, what you think. But
I
I
mean,
do
think
think,
oaks, maples, we could do the
Yeah.
dogwoods if they really wanted dogwoods.
I
you
think
know.
there should be a couple
they'll-
dogwoods.
Yeah,
I mean, just because
Just
some
'cause of
people don't
flowering
want a
and-
really big.
right,
tree.
exactly, but I think the birches should be out,
The water birches,
The river
or
birch.
river birches rather.
unless it's it's not a good street tree.
No,
They
it's very
go,
messy.
and they're in the road, they just don't grow right.
It hangs down, it's very messy, yes. But it's a neat, because it's sort of a medium size.
I'll see
It's
what
not
he,
real big, but
yeah,
yeah.
See what's available.
all right,
Yeah, see what you can get, because that way then we'll be able to get started on the
all right.
sending out
We
the
gotta move.
information. But the other, the one other thing that was mentioned was, as far as mulch goes, can we do it sort of like we did down here in Greer Park, where we get, well, like each tree would get a bag of mulch? So that it's right there and we plant, you mulch, do the whole thing at one shot, rather than having to go back with the truck and wheelbarrows and what, however you, I wasn't there for it, however you did the mulch last time. It's probably less expensive, getting a load of mulch.
Bags?
Bags
Bags
are
is
more
more
expensive.
expensive.
Yes, I know. I said it's probably less expensive getting bulk mulch.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the bags might make it easier, if each tree has a bag.
Whatever you want, it's just, that's trees you're gonna put in the ground.
Well, that's okay, that works for me.
And if you think one bag of mulch is good enough for a tree, like,
Oh, it might, some of them might need to, yes, I realize that.
Okay, look, we really got.
we can figure that out.
All right,
Okay,
All right.
but I just want to get that started. just
Okay.
Get that
okay.
bug
let's
in
go.
your ear.
All right. All right, okay, so items for next agenda,
I'll come up with those.
okay? I don't
Public
think
comment? I
anybody's
don't think our
here to
public
talk
comment.
to us. All right, so, all right, with that, I say we are adjourned.